So welcome to my first thoughts on the Diofield Chronicle. Yes, a brand new strategy game, real-time strategy game by Square Enix. And it's really kind of funny, they're releasing a lot of strategy games lately, like Triangle Strategy, another really excellent game. And this game is for PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and on PC, obviously. Now, I just got done playing the demo, and the demo is really long. I was actually surprised how many missions, how much you could do in there. And I just want to give my first impressions, what I thought about this game and the real-time strategy, because I usually don't play real-time strategy games, I play strategy games. So this was a bit different for me. I went in, and the opening cinematic started, and I was watching it, and it's telling you a little bit about the backstory of the Diofield Island. And that's kind of interesting, but I was looking at the graphics, I'm like, okay, this is like not a AAA game, it's a budget title. Still a little bit money put into it for sure. And then we get into the opening, and I gotta admit, I was really kind of let down with the opening cinema. It's kind of a bit of a chase going on. I'm like, this doesn't look really good. It doesn't look that great. And so my expectations were lowering, like big time. I'm like, you know, this game for me, I saw it and I'm like, when the trailer was announced, and I'm like, I don't know if this is for me. I don't know. There's like a lot of different games out. So this game might have gotten lost in the shuffle for me. But I decided to give it a shot. So I got past the opening, and then I get into the game itself. And this is where things get a lot better. I was really surprised. So it starts out as pretty basic, where you're moving your troops along the map, and you're trying to save a girl, and you're fighting some bandits. Very simple, because it's just warming you up. And you're like, okay, that's fine, you know, it's a real-time strategy. As I said, is very different for me. So I'm moving my guys on the map, and getting them to attack, and then getting them to attack other guys at the same time. This was pretty cool for me. I liked it. But the first couple of battles are very simple, very bare bones. You go in, you do an attack. That's realistically all there is to it. And I'm like, I don't know about this game still. I was still kind of in that zone. And then you join with this government official. She takes you, because you're mercenaries, you become parts of the militia, and you start going on missions. But first you go to the hub castle, and that's where you basically set up all of your troops. You get quests there. You can go to a shop. You can upgrade all of your equipment. And there's a lot of equipment in here. And a lot of it's very expensive. You can't buy, obviously, at first. A lot of items. And then later on, your skill tree opens up. And then that alone is a huge thing into itself. I sat there for a second, and I'm like, I got to the hub world, and I'm like, I like the hub world. I like running around. What I like is you can run fast through everything, but you can also fast travel through the castle to get to where you need to get to. So if you need to talk to somebody, you just go fast travel, you're in that room, and it's instantaneous. I really like that aspect of it. The hub world was making me feel a little bit more at home. I was settling in, and I'm like, okay, so you talk to officials, you find out the missions that you're gonna go on, you select those missions on the map, and then you go in there. And this is where the game became a lot of fun for me. The more I got into the missions, the more the challenge got a little bit better, and I had to actually strategize what I was realistically doing on the map, and all your troops start getting better attacks, and you start figuring out the best ways to take down your enemies. Sometimes you have to take down barricades while taking down enemies, while opening up a drawbridge to move on to the next level as enemies are coming in behind you. And you got to think fast. And it's really great because you get a magic user at one point that can do like meteor damage on a lot of different enemies. And you start selecting attacks that can take down multiple enemies at the same time. So you start combining those all in real time, and that is a great amount of satisfaction. And I was really starting to enjoy this game quite a bit. And then all of a sudden you're getting overwhelmed, you build up your meter, you can bring in a summon. And then the summon comes down and absolutely obliterates everything that you selected. And that feels very, very fulfilling. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, the next section of the map opens up, your troops are going in there, and it's rinse and repeat that way, but it's so much fun. So you can have your arrow guy off to the side shooting arrows, you have your match user back casting like meteor, and then you have your sword users and cavalry kind of going around the side, taking out the enemies as the other guys pick them off. I really, really enjoyed this aspect, and the more I played, the more I enjoyed it. The more difficult it became, the more I enjoyed it. The more I had to think. When the undead was showing up all around me and I'm like, don't get surrounded by these guys. And that's just some of the tricks, is not to rush in. It's just hang back and to plan out a strategy and say, okay, I'm gonna pick these guys off from afar and I'll take these guys out. The worst thing to do is send in your troops, get surrounded, he gets annihilated. And then there's some boss characters, and I won't ruin these for you, and they obliterated me. I was like, oh my god, I need to go back to my hub world and absolutely readdress what I'm doing with my characters. Maybe I need to upgrade some equipment. But the great thing is, you can go back to previous levels and fight enemies just to level up. So there's a great amount of addiction there for anybody who's like me, that likes going and leveling up your characters to get stronger, to make more money, to buy that better equipment, to do better in the following levels to come. I really enjoyed Diofield Chronicles, I really did, and it didn't start off that way for me. I was like really kind of judging the opening cinemas and stuff, and the opening cinematic that was going on. I was like, I don't know. But when I got into the hub world, it felt a lot better, and when I got into the battles, and that's the thing, that's what this game is all about, is the battles itself. Very fulfilling, very easy to grab your troops and drag them around the screen. Never had any problems doing that. You can also change the camera angle to get a better view on what you were doing. And very fun, and it's kind of fun for me because I don't play real-time strategy games. So this is very unique and different for me. I know a lot of my friends have and do play these style of games, so I didn't even know that going in. I thought it was just a strategy game like Fire Emblem, where you move your guys, that's it, the next phase kicks in. No, these phases are just automatically rocking and rolling, and you have to think really fast on your feet or you'll get absolutely annihilated, and I really enjoyed that aspect. So the graphics work for me in combat. They really, really do. The hub world, they're pretty good. I mean, it's not Square Enix characters like you see in some AAA games, but they're still satisfying enough for that hub world, for going around talking and going on missions and things like that. I like the combat. That's the main meat and potatoes of this game. So don't judge it like I did going in. I was so critical on my, this is going to be a terrible game. This is going to be so such a budget title. I was very wrong. All the money is in the actual gameplay, and that's what you want with a strategy game, especially a real-time strategy game. You want the money to be involved in that, because that's where you're going to be most of the time. Another little shout out for the music. The music, I had to look this up. I'm like, this music is really epic. It's really good. It's very different. And then I find out it's by the composers of Game of Thrones. I'm like, well, that's fascinating how they got involved in this project and all that. One aspect that I gotta say that I really love, I love the character portraits. I think they are fantastic. They're kind of like hand watercolored, kind of rough done. I love the look of those, and it feels like a classic, like Super Famicom style of art. You know, that kind of portrait looking character. I love the art in this game for that. All the hand-drawn stuff, immensely well drawn, and I absolutely love that. So how's my experience been? It's been pretty good. I gotta say, it's surprising how long the demo is, and that's the one wonderful thing is everybody can go out there and play the demo. I played the PS5 version, and the good news is anything that you do in the demo, any of the gameplay that you play in the demo, you can take into the full game later on. But every one of you out there will be able to play the demo and make up your own minds about this game. So yeah, definitely come back in the video after you play the demo and let me know what you think about this game so far. I'm really curious because I don't play real-time strategy games. Maybe a lot of you out there do, and maybe you have some amazing feedback that I don't have, because it's kind of my first time doing this style of game. How is it for you? For me, I absolutely love this game, and I'm gonna buy it physically when it comes out, without a doubt, because I think it's really good. And Square Enix is killing it for strategy games lately. Even that Tactics Ogre game, Reborn, they're bringing that out. It's a strategy year for Square Enix, that is for sure. So anyways, guys, until next time.